Good morning, everyone. Apologies for the dramatic pause there. My mouse stopped working and I couldn't get over onto my PowerPoint presentation. Good morning, everyone. It's great to see a few of you here actually in the live session. We are also live streaming on YouTube and recording later on for the podcast as well. So people consume buzzwords in many formats. So it's great to see a good few of you here on the actual session with us. I'm just going to kick off with a video for today's session. There was a much longer setup to that video. I'm happy to share the link if anyone is interested in looking at it. It's a mesmerizing video to see the all of the weights starting in perfect unison, then falling off into chaos and disorder, and then realigning themselves, and along the way forming these beautiful patterns. It's almost hypnotic. And I suppose the inspiration for this, the theme of this month's buzzwords, although we were to have it in September, was I was listening to an ice swimmer, an extreme open water an ice swimmer from Dingle, County Kerry, a lady called Nuala Moore on the radio recently on Brendan O'Connor. She just released a book called Limit. And she's describing a time where she swam off Cape Horn in South America. And what's unique about Cape Horn, apart from being treacherous for sailors over the years and so on, and the Southern Ocean, is that this particular point of the ocean off Cape Horn, once you cross the meridian from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean, there is no land at all to the east or to the west. So the ocean builds the way around, and it's extremely treacherous part of the world's oceans. And on the day she went to do her swim, the conditions were so bad that they couldn't even launch the safety boat. And she decided to proceed. And Brendan O'Connor interjected at the time to say it sounded like complete chaos. And her response, they kind of inspired me and reminded me of a phrase that I'd heard before, is that even in progress, or even in chaos, there was progress. So even in that chaotic situation, you had to proceed, you had to keep going, you had to keep working to achieve. And the universe is kind of like that. It tends towards disorder. And in complex systems like the one which we inhabit, chaos kind of is the norm. And nature loves it, but we try as humans to put patterns on everything that we have and to bring order to that chaos as well. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is what is the chaos, and how can we progress in that chaos, and how can we take our businesses and help make them resilient to embrace that chaos and to survive and to thrive within it. Because it's about not just surviving in turbulence, but thriving in turbulent times as well. And there's a lot of quotes out there about chaos. I mean, this is one that I liked. Not the that it reminded me of was Nietzsche. I think talked about chaos. That you must have chaos within yourself to be able to give birth to the dancing star. So you needed to have that chaos to really have that ambition to succeed and to be better. This one is wrongly attributed to the Buddha, that chaos is inherent in all compound things, and we must strive on through it with diligence. But chaos can strike businesses at any time, whether it's economic downturns, whether it's health crises, whether it's unforeseen disruptions. Small businesses, large businesses face a myriad of challenges. We've seen it through the COVID pandemic as well. And today we're going to talk about some of those challenges and how there might be pathways to progress from it as well. And we'll also introduce some tools and strategies that might help us to build that resilience and navigate that chaos successfully. So what are some of the chaos and challenges that we face? They can vary significantly based on industry, based on our location, based on our global circumstances. The chaos that we feel we might suffer in our business life here today, there's nothing compared to what's happening in Ukraine or in Palestine at the moment. So it's really subjective and objective to where we are and what we intend to face. The first one up there was economic uncertainty. So fluctuations in the economy, such as recessions or economic downturns, can create chaos for businesses, reduce consumer spending, cause the credit markets to tighten, and market volatility can impact these operations as well. We're seeing it with the increase in interest rates at the moment, where spending is starting to contract until inflation reduces. Technological disruptions, so rapid technological advances can disrupt traditional business models, and companies that fail to adapt those new technologies will lose their competitive edge. We don't need to be reminded about the global pandemic and health crises. Events like COVID-19 demonstrated to us how unforeseen health crisis like this can really disrupt our supply chains, reduce demand for our products, increase demand for our products in some areas as well, and force businesses to adapt new procedures, new regulations, and a completely new way of working. Fierce competition in the markets can lead to saturated markets, can make it challenging for businesses to stand out, maintain market share, but also to maintain a healthy pricing point to our margin as well. So staying innovative and competitive really isn't. Changes in regulation from governments and the policies can have a significant impact on our business. Compliance costs, legal challenges, shifting market dynamics, all of these can result and cause havoc for us in terms of regulatory changes. Disruptions to our supply chain, whether due to natural disasters, geopolitical conflicts, or other factors, can lead to delays, increased costs and shortages of critical materials. Threats to cybersecurity, data breaches, all pose significant threats to businesses in this digital age where we're online more and more. These incidents can result in financial losses, damage to reputation, and even some legal consequences. Environmental challenges are never far away, and regulation is becoming more and more stringent, force us to behave in a correct way to address these. So in order to stay relevant, we must adapt to sustainability and address these issues as well. Things like managing our talent, attracting, retaining, develop skilled employees is a challenge, especially in competitive job markets. So businesses need to invest in talent, not just the attraction of it, but also the retention of the people that are there with them as well. Customer behavior is changing. Shifts in consumer preferences and behavior are driven from factors like demographics and cultural changes, and require businesses to adapt their products and services and marketing strategies. Access to capital and financing can be significant challenges for businesses, startups, small businesses, and big businesses, affecting their ability to grow and to innovate. We're not too affected by it here, but political instability, trade union disputes, trade disputes, change government administrations, all creates uncertainty, along with natural disasters, earthquakes, hurricanes. We've even seen locally here the effects of flooding on the economies down in Cork and other parts of Ireland as well. As businesses expand globally, that supply chain complexity has more and more challenges and needs to be reviewed on a constant basis to see, can we bring things closer and make those supply chains less complex. And with growing concerns about data privacy, our customers generally are more concerned about how we manage their data and what are we doing in our business to help support that. Successful businesses need to develop kind of strategies to mitigate risks on consumer privacy concerns, to embrace the changing circumstances, and ultimately to be stronger in what they do in terms of consumer privacy. Like anything in our business, to embrace these challenges, it tends to stem from the leadership and leadership behavior within the organization. This is another quote I was very fond of. One of the key qualities a leader must possess is the ability to detach from chaos, mayhem, and emotions in a situation and make good, clear decisions on what is actually happening. Jocko Willink is a Navy SEAL, Marine, so I think he's talking about circumstances where you have to detach yourself from the chaos in a war environment. But even at times when there is a crisis situation in our business, we need to detach ourselves from that, from the mayhem, from the emotions, and really start to focus in on how we can make good, clear decisions from there as well. So what else does the leader need to do? So in a turbulent landscape, small businesses and large businesses, the leader becomes paramount in terms of steering the ship towards chaos, through chaos and towards progress. Owners and leaders and managers, they need to be visionaries, decision makers, motivators. Visionary leadership. So during times of chaos, leaders must maintain a clear and inspiring vision for the business. They must act as a beacon, guiding the organization through uncertainty. It provides a sense of direction, sense of purpose, motivating the leader and the team to work towards a common goal on the far side of the current situation. They need to be effective in terms of their decision making quick, well-informed decisions. They need to be open to changing circumstances, willing to adapt strategies, and be unafraid to take calculated risks. Decisiveness is crucial in these types of situations, as hesitation can lead often to missed opportunities or even problems or issues becoming exacerbated. Leaders need to communicate openly and transparently with their teams, their stakeholders, and their customers. Employees look to their leaders for guidance and reassurance. So clear and honest communication helps build cohesion within the organization, ensuring that everyone is on the same page. We can't do it all by ourselves. So as leaders, we need to delegate. We need to empower our teams and delegate responsibilities effectively. By delegating tasks, this allows us to focus on high impact decisions and strategic planning. While employees take ownership of their roles and contribute to the business's progress, ultimately making everybody's life more rewarding as well. Leaders need to exhibit resilience and emotional intelligence, as they are often the face of the business. How they act sets the tone for the entire organization. Resilient leaders can bounce back from setbacks, inspiring the team to do the same. Emotional intelligence will also help in understanding and managing the emotions of team members, foster supporting work environment. With chaos also brings a steep learning curve. So effective leaders really need to embrace this curve and opportunities for professional and personal growth for them and their team, staying informed about industry trends, what's going on, new technologies, evolving market dynamics. This knowledge allows them to make informed decisions that will really help them drive through progress. Managing resources is always a challenge. Leaders need to optimize the allocation of resources, including finance, personnel, time. The efficient resource management ensures that the business can remain agile and can adapt to all the kind of changing circumstances. Customer-centered approach is also key. They must understand the changing needs and preferences of their customers and tailor their products or services accordingly. Maintaining a strong connection with their customer base, leaders should ensure that continued growth and success. It's also important to reach out to the community and play a role in the community. So building strong community relationships not only fosters support, but also enhances the reputation of the business. Leaders can participate in community initiatives, as can their teams, sponsor local events, and try and give back to the community in which they're operating. But it comes back to this point about that vision. Okay, so a visionary leadership and a leader within a crisis or a chaotic situation has that long-term vision to see beyond the current situation and see a path through it. So navigate through that chaos and not lose sight of the long-term vision for the business. Short-term survival is essential, absolutely. But we need to plan for the future. What lessons are we learning throughout this difficult time or this difficult period, and how can we apply these into the business going forward? So it's about providing vision, adaptive decision making, communicating transparently, empowering the team, exhibiting resilience, and maintaining that strong customer focus. And it's this leadership and it's the leader that has the compass that points the way to navigate out these more challenging times. Another quote here was this one from Napoleon. And the battlefield is a scene of constant chaos, and the winner will be the one who controls the chaos, both their own and the enemies. Controlling the chaos, how do we stay on top of it? Leadership helps us, have the right behaviors and actions and attitudes, but there's a set of tools we probably need here to help us move our way through it and even to thrive within it. And that brings us on to kind of the first set of kind of tools we're going to talk about today, which is tools around innovation. And we're going to start with talking about innovative thinking. So applying innovation practices during a critical time can really help a business. It helps make the business be more adaptable and agile. So innovative businesses are more adaptable to change. They quickly pivot their strategies, their products, their services, and they respond to new challenge or market shift. And this really allows them to thrive amid that chaos. Innovative organizations embrace problem solving. Okay, they encourage it. So when problems strike, they are more likely to see challenges as opportunities and find creative solutions. Having a mindset towards continuous improvement, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a few slides, means that we're constantly focusing on refining our processes and making new incremental changes, which allows us to see even short-term improvements in the midst of bad situations. Trying to find new revenue streams and the development of new revenue streams. Businesses that diversify their income or have more than one sole area of income tend to be far more resilient and can always continue progressing, even when the core areas of the business are disrupted. Market differentiation means standing out from the crowd. And if we're in a crowded market space, offering unique and innovative products and services, businesses tend to be able to stand out from and attract new customers even in difficult times. Again, with customer-centric solutions, making sure that we understand what customers need. So in a changing time, has the customer need changed, and what are we doing to adapt our products and services to meet that customer need? Again, we'll see things like resource optimization. We're managing resources again is key, but embracing technology. So finding out what new technology is out there. Can we automate processes? Can we improve customer experiences and gain a competitive edge? Using innovation and innovative thinking during times crisis, we need to start mitigating risks. So understanding what can go wrong and be better prepared to handle them. And even during times of chaos, embracing and engaging with employees to make sure that they are committed to the success of the business. And because more often than not, it's employees and our team members that will be the source of all of the innovative ideas that can help us during a chaotic situation. There's also an opportunity using innovation to expand our market during difficult times by identifying new market opportunities. Again, that comes back to being tapped into our customers, understanding the changing needs of our customers over time, and adjusting our products and services to support with that as well. Building resilience and sustainable practices. Again, using sustainability as innovation towards sustainability, embrace sustainability, accepting the changing face is coming. There's a new legislation's coming, and what can we do to embrace that and innovate within that space as well, and at the same time start to enhance our brand reputation. And there's some of the thought processes that innovative teams might use. In terms of tools or innovation tools that you could use, obviously the first one that kind of comes to mind is design thinking, but there's various innovation tools and methodologies that can be used to foster creativity and problem solving within our team. Design thinking, as I mentioned, is a human-centered approach to innovation that involves emphasizing the end users or empathizing with the end users, defining problems, ideating solutions, prototyping and testing. And it really encourages us to get a deep understanding of the customer need when we go to try and iterate or improve a product or a process, or to try and solve a problem that we think occurs. So empathizing with the customer in there as well. And it leads to really creative, iterative problem solving as well. A really great approach to deal with change. Again, a tool for innovation is brainstorming, classic method for generating a large number of ideas quickly. We use it in all different types of areas. Times of crisis, times of not crisis. It's great for solving problems. It can be done individually, just come up with as many ideas as possible, or it can be done in groups, but it really encourages free thinking and creativity. Getting those ideas in mind mapping is a visual technique for organizing thoughts and ideas. It helps exploring relationships between different concepts and can be also useful for problem solving and idea generation. Strategy tools like SWOT and Scamper, which I'm sure everybody knows what they are. SWOT analysis, so what are the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats facing our business. Structured way to identify areas for improvement. Within our old organization, within our own organization, we have a sustainability SWOT, we have a digital SWOT, which helps us put a sustainability and a digital lens over our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, taking a particular focus on those particular areas. Scamper is another technique. It's a creative thinking method that encourages us to think about existing ideas or products from different angles and generate new ones as well. TRIZ is a systematic approach to problem solving. To solving engineering and technical problems. It provides a set of principles and tools to help identify innovative solutions to complex problems. Nothing beats coming together. Brainstorming is one way we can do that. Innovation workshops are great to bring together teams to focus on specific challenges and try to innovate from them. It involves structured activities and exercises used to stimulate creativity and generate ideas, often facilitated by a third party or by an outside member of the team. Innovation workshops really are great mechanisms just to get everybody focused away from their day-to-day tasks to try and come up with new, interesting solutions or solve problems as well. You could replace the word innovation with problem solving, and it would equally work there. There's also open innovation platforms, hackathons, ideation software, really where we kind of collaborate with external innovators, freelancers, startups, crowdsourcing, engaging with external contributors to suggest ideas and generate kind of even more ideas. It's all about volume when we're talking about ideas. And then once the volume ideas, we can then start to qualify each one as well. Things like hackathons are time-limited events where individuals or teams work intensively to develop an innovative solution to a specific challenge. Within Lean, we call them Kaizen events, which we'll talk a little bit about later on. Really, with hackathons, they encourage competition between the teams that are taking part within it, and there's really high levels of creative problem solving from there. Using software tools like idea capture or ideation software help us to capture ideas from our teams on the fly. It's essentially like digital selection boxes. Christmas is on my mind already. Digital suggestion boxes. And in these digital suggestion boxes, we can capture ideas quickly and on the fly, and then they can be investigated later on. And there's also a good way of recognizing ideas from people as well. And agile development methodologies, Scrum and Kanban, can be used to iterate or provide iterations of new products or service that also helps foster innovation as well. We've mentioned some digital tools there, such as the ideation platform and agile development, but the digital adoption really is starting a key role in enabling progress. We really saw that during COVID when everybody there was a huge shortage of laptops, and overnight everybody had to work from home. Some companies were set up for it with laptops and already signed up for Zoom and web conferencing, others not so much. But it was definitely one of the biggest periods of digital adoption that I suppose the world has ever seen. And that first really was that remote work and collaboration, where digital technologies were embraced to enable remote work and collaboration, and allowed businesses to continue to operate during the pandemic. So cloud-based tools like we're on now, Zoom, conferencing, project management platforms, all help to keep teams connected and productive. And it's a pattern that's not going away. That once embraced, it's never going to change. Businesses moving to e-commerce and online sales. Lots of digital platforms out there helping businesses with the capability to establish and expand their presence online, expand their marketplace as well. So it allows them to reach customers, manage orders, maintain sales. So when physical locations are disrupted, as we saw in COVID, we can continue to trade. Okay, so it happened in the retail environment. It also happened in a training environment. There was a time a couple of years ago we wouldn't be doing webinars or information sessions like this on such a frequent scale or online. They would all be in person, and all of the stress that goes with that as well. Accessing data and data analytics tools, really help businesses and empowers them to make much more informed decisions and make those decisions often in real time. So data-driven insights can help us, especially in chaotic times, but all the times, in adjusting or pivoting our strategies, identifying market trends, consumer behavior, and then starting to optimize our operations towards better results. Also with supply chain, digital technologies are helping us see where items are. So where is our container? Using things like the Internet of Things, blockchain, enhance the supply chain visibility, helps in tracking products, managing inventory, mitigating disruptions, and kind of starting to identify and address bottlenecks or issues within the supply chain. Engaging customers, digital channels, social media, chatbots, chat GPT, email, all of these allow businesses to maintain open, frequent communication with their customers, help address their concerns, and even provide support when physical stores or offices are inaccessible or even closed in a much more convenient way. Cybersecurity helps us in terms of facing down cyber threats. The new digital security tools and practices that we have to embrace help us to protect our sensitive data and start to maintain operational integrity during difficult times as well. The move towards digital marketing is helping us to embrace and adjust their message and get out to markets quickly and be highly targeted with their messaging. So gone are the days where we had a general one-size-fits-all marketing approach. We can be very targeted in our marketing campaigns. We can really find the watering hole that our customers are drinking at, and we target them directly with our messaging there as well. And we can adjust that messaging based on the data that we get, changing consumer behavior and changing market conditions. And this digital infrastructure allows businesses to scale up and to scale down rapidly in response to fluctuations in demand. And this is essential if we do have that kind of VUCA, chaotic, unpredictable market environments as well. Automation and efficiency, we're seeing tools like RPA, robotic process automation. We're seeing chat GPT, AI-driven solutions, all helping us to automate repetitive tasks, reduce manual errors, reduce sign-offs, enhance operational efficiency. And again, this becomes really important when resources are limited or they're geographically dispersed as well. The growth in online learning, it was there before, but it's grown exponentially in the last couple of years. Providing employees with online learning, skill development, and making sure the workforce remains adaptable and equipped to navigate different situations as well. Digital tools can also help businesses monitor their market trends, customer sentiments, and competitor activities in real time. Again, invaluable information when we're trying to make strategic decisions. And the highly focused migration towards financial management, online transactions with banking, really digital banking, and these tools allow us to manage our finances better, access our capital, conduct transactions securely when physical banks might be closed. And this really is a space to watch. Where will the banks be even in a couple of years, and what their role might be within it. Also within the tools, we talk about lean and lean thinking. The application of lean can be a powerful tool to support us at different times. Derived from the Toyota production system, lean is all about optimizing processes, eliminating waste, and continuously improving efficiency in what we do. One of the things is waste reduction, primarily in lean. So lean principles focus on identifying, eliminating waste, such as overproduction, excess processing, and defects. By reducing this waste in our processes, what happens is that our businesses become more agile, they become more resource efficient, which makes it easy for us to change and pivot during challenging times as well. Resources that we have aren't squandered, and the business can adapt quickly and more effectively. Lean brings with it streamlined processes. So often there might not be a chaotic situation globally, but it can be chaos internally because our processes are disorganized, inefficient. Lean promotes a streamlining of those processes and getting those workflows singing and humming perfectly. So it starts to make the work more predictable and less prone to disruptions. When these processes are well find and optimize, the business can really start to maintain stability, even in the face of uncertainty as well. Once we're lean, once we're agile, business can be much more responsive to customer demands and needs. So as the market changes, as the customer changes, the lean brings with it agility. That agility is the critical asset when navigating chaotic situations. So by adapting to shifts in customer preferences, by quickly adapting to shifts in customer preferences, we can tend to meet those needs and continue to progress as well. Again, we'll mention in the next slide, but a fundamental aspect of lean is this concept of Kaizen, which is a philosophy that kind of encourages employees at all levels to identify problems and suggest improvements. And this culture of continuous improvement, like in the idea suggestion earlier on as well, gets people to find opportunities to improve, constantly reducing waste, constantly reducing costs, constantly making the business more streamlined, and that finding solutions to emerging challenges help us improve. As part of our lean work, we're also collecting data. So the collection and analysis of data to make informed decisions helps us there as well. There's a strong focus on cost reduction. You reduce operating costs, optimizing resource allocations, and minimizing waste. Lower the costs, and then the business is more stable. Okay, so cost savings can help the business weather the storm that's out there and always maintain profitability, even in a varying market. Along with cost reduction, it's about improving quality as well. So there's benefits in it for the customer. So the focus on quality ensures that customers remain satisfied, even as times change out there as well. Customers will stay loyal. So if we can offer them a product that's high quality and we're able to reduce the cost of it over time, the customers will stay with us as well. And it's been shown that organizations that embrace lean and involve their team in decision making and problem solving have higher levels of employee engagement as well. Again, lean is inherently connected in with the supply chain. It's a collaborative approach between suppliers to ensure a smooth flow of materials. Again, this has benefits to reduce supply disruption, improving the customer experience, reducing costs as well overall. And that strong focus on the voice of the customer, because lean ultimately is about delivering value to the customer. And by staying closely attuned to what they need and to the customer needs, the business can continue to provide valuable products and services when facing into differing situations. And it's a customer-centric approach that can help maintain customer loyalty and help us to continue to drive progress in the face of many different situations as well. Guys, if anyone has any questions, feel free to pop them into the chat, and we can have a chat about them. Just a little sketch here. Not sure how hard it is to see, but I'll share the slides with you after. This is a common scene in most businesses, kind of battling high costs, excessive waste, poor management and decisions. The outcome of the business is kind of driven into chaos and can often become a recurring cycle. And Kaizen is an activity in which we can use to climb out of this hole. It's a step-by-step process to kind of start to reclaim lost ground. So when you set up a new production line or launch into a new process, the goal is to get it right first time, achieving high productivity and quality. But often as time goes by, changes happen, conditions, parameters, sequences, external factors start to cause issues. And with them, we need to work to regain that lost ground. And that corrected mentality through practices like Gemba, you can check back on some of the previous episodes of Buzzwords, going to the Gemba is going to where the work is happening, and actually getting close to it and observing it and seeing the real world issues of operators with the operators. And by applying that corrected mentality and going to the Gemba, we start to identify root causes of problems and with the operators and the people closest to the work, create a shared vision across the organization of how we can make things right again. There's a kata approach within lean as well, again, not for today, but it's about setting target conditions, starting at the process level and kind of saying what's this next step we can progress towards this level as well. And really taking a lean coaching approach to problems in our business in good times helps us in bad times to embrace that kind of change as well. Lean, like a lot of leadership, is what's the word, is situational. So we can have many approaches, there's many tools. You've got to tailor it to your organization that you're working with, to the process that you're working with as well. But regardless of the variations, the lean approach should be an easy to follow step-by-step process about identifying a problem, identifying waste, identifying a target condition, and then saying what are the incremental steps we can get to win this battle against waste and inefficiency, and transforming our processes, whether we have an external chaotic situation or not, but transforming our processes and our operations from a little bit of chaos into a lean and efficient processes as well. So a tool we came across the Stacey matrix is used for multiple things, but great in terms of uncertainty as well, because it helps us make decisions differently under varying degrees of complexity. The basis for the matrix is 2 dimensions. So it's certainty when things are far from certain and things are close to certain, and when we're far from agreement and we're close to agreement as well. So when things are in the simple sector, we've high certainty and high agreement. So decision making is straightforward. We can rely on our rationality and our best practices, choose the best or optimal decision. When things are complicated, so there's medium certainty and medium agreement, things are starting to get more complicated, less certainty, judgment of politics come into the equation. Decisions need to be negotiated rather than deduced from facts as well. As things become complex, there's low certainty, low agreement. Here we can't really anticipate or agree anymore what will happen. As a result, a more experimental, trial and error-based approach to decision making is needed. And it's in this complex place where we might start to use tools like Agile, Scrum, innovation, hackathons, brainstorming to try and be a bit more experimental in what we do to see, will this fix the problem? Let's test it. Did it make a difference? And let's go back again. And then we're into the area of chaotic, where there's low certainty and low agreement, as opposed to low certainty or low agreement in complex. And here, this place where there's no sensible conclusion can be drawn about the best way to move forward. It's not quite anarchy, but to avoid anarchy, the best approach is to focus on stability. Okay, so on increasing certainty and/or agreement until we cross back into the edge of chaos, into the realm of complexity, and we can start with our experimentation again. Really, in that chaotic phase here, we are in a space where we are firefighting, and where firefighting gets us to get back to a place that's complex, and we can start to manage or bring a bit of stability and reduce the anarchy from what we do. And while the Stacey matrix is a tool to kind of help make decisions based on the level of uncertainty or ambiguity, might not always be the way to restore order. So in chaotic situations, the primary goal is to regain control and stabilize the business and the situation that we're in. First thing we need to do really is to try and contain the chaos. So our initial focus probably should be on ensuring safety of our employees, prevent further escalation of the crisis. This usually involves immediate actions to halt or mitigate the chaotic factors. Okay, so it's really stop what's happening. Next step then is to restore the order. So once the situation is contained, at least a little, start working on restoring the order. This may involve short-term crisis management measurements just to stabilize the business even further. Post-crisis analysis, so after the immediate crisis is under control, and we're back in that complex area, we need to conduct a thorough post-crisis analysis to understand what led to the kind of chaos. Doing this can help us identify any other underlying issues, vulnerabilities that need addressing, or is there anything that's still a little bit of light that we need to put out or address before it sparks off again. And then strategic planning. So once we have a better understanding of the situation, we have better understanding of the root causes, what led to the problems, can we get a better understanding of what next? Go back to the Stacy matrix, perhaps use other tools to determine the best course of action for the future. As I said, in a chaotic situation, our first focus is on immediate and short-term actions to regain stability. Okay. After that, you can employ various different strategic tools, including the matrix, to help us get back there as well. But once everybody's safe and back in control, we could be talking about a war situation here. We could be talking about a PR disaster. We could be talking about an issue with a client that's going south, a conflict with a client over billing or hours or the quality of our project delivery. These can all be chaos or chaotic situations or crises that need to be managed. And as I said, the first thing is just to get back to stability first, and then try and work out from there to try and contain the situation in step one. No doubt, when we look for businesses that are successful or businesses that are resilient and thrive despite adversity, there's the obvious examples. Amazon, Microsoft, J&J, Procter & Gamble, Tesla, Zoom. These companies all kind of speak for themselves. What they do, though, generally is they have diverse or they've diversified their product categories and their offering. Okay, they've utilized their strengths where perhaps they had a particular strength in their business model that they weren't using to generate revenue, and then they start generating revenue from it. Microsoft, as an example, to many of us, moved from a product-based selling you for 500 or 600 or 1,000 euros, a license, a one-off license for Microsoft Office or Microsoft Word, move into the subscription-based product, locking us all in probably forever and paying far more than we ever did, and eliminating the need for pirate versions of software as well. So that move to a subscription-based helped them kind of shift their focus from selling product to cloud-based solutions from there as well. Zoom rapidly adapted to the increased demand for video conferencing issues start COVID, but they really emerged out of nowhere to be the leader. Netflix pivoting from a postal DVD service when it originally started into a streaming entertainment platform, and then continuing to innovate and develop in there as well. And by continuing to innovate and develop in there, by looking at by when they're short of resources or they can't get access to content, they make their own content. Okay, so they're not just streaming other people's, they've got the revenue in, and they're starting to pivot on what they do as well. But we don't have to look to international companies like these. We saw it right across the country during COVID, how local businesses are actually starting to embrace the various challenges that are out there. Restaurants during the COVID pandemic, local bookshops who are facing huge competition from the Amazons of the world are starting to thrive by focusing on personal service, having events, community hubs. We're seeing people working from home-based businesses. We're seeing subscription businesses. We're seeing family businesses thriving because they're linking in with their deep community ties, and that's helping them weather through. Local coffee shops or non-chain coffee shops are starting to again by emphasizing high quality offering and a unique offering for locally sourced products and unique blends of coffee as well. And the same with food producers, personal trainers, tech startups, constructions and trades. We're seeing businesses that shouldn't be competing and shouldn't be driving in changing, but they are, because they've got a unique offering and a unique service as well. And especially businesses that are put an emphasis on eco and sustainability is also having a big impact. So what about you? What are you going to do? What's your business? What are you going to do to thrive within this? Well, there's three areas in terms of business resilience that we need to consider. We can call it a triple threat, and it's first made up of resilience. Okay, so resiliency, so the ability of the business to recover from failure, robustness, the ability to resist failure, and then a concept that you might not be aware of is a concept called anti-fragility. And anti-fragility means that it's not just about surviving in times of chaos and uncertainty. It's about embracing it, and it's about thriving in chaos and becoming a more robust organization or even individual during these times as well. So why should we strive for anti-fragility? Because in today's world, you need to adapt, you need to capitalize on change. So it's essential that when it seems like everything is falling apart, that we can actually continue to do more. During COVID, we saw as companies like Amazon and Zoom that diversified into new markets. Zoom enhanced their platform for remote works. So for us to become anti-fragile and to hit this triple threat, we need to embrace strategies. Like diversification and agility. Diversification allows us to share risks across different areas, reduce our dependence on one particular market or customer, and agility that comes from lean digitization and innovation allows us to quickly adapt through flexibility. We can start to decentralize decision making through good delegation, ensuring each employee and each members of our teams are masters at what they do is really kind of crucial as well. So being anti-fragile and starting to embrace this mindset of anti-fragility, companies will start to have the edge over fragile ones and even resilient ones. It's great that you can recover from failure, but it's better that you can strive within that changing environment and strive chaos and grow from it as opposed to recover from it as well. And this is starting to see failure. This is that growth mindset we talked about before, starting to see failure as an opportunity to change, an opportunity to grow, where other organizations might resist change and react to disruptions that make them vulnerable. And really, it's about, when we are in that complex part, just outside of the chaos, what can we do to experiment? What can we do to try and make things better? What can we do to have an increment to move things slightly forward for us as well? So embracing this anti-fragile approach really should start to offer us resilience, agility, and innovation. And it's a mindset shift towards embracing change and uncertainty as opportunities for growth. It is a concept. It's an interesting concept when I started learning about it. But it's not just a concept. It's kind of a survival strategy for the ever-changing kind of business world and our personal world. And by embracing it, we don't just survive, but we start to thrive in times of crisis as well. So just briefly to finish out, what can you do to kind of build that triple threat within your organization? Really starts by cultivating a growth mindset. So embrace change, view challenges as opportunities for growth and learning. Encourage your team, your colleagues, your peers, everyone to do the same. Start to find ways to diversify our income streams. Okay, so don't rely on a single source of income. Start to explore different markets, products, services to reduce our dependence on one area. Invest in continuous learning, continuous improvement. Stay up to date on industry trends, emerging technologies, and best practices. Start to experiment and innovate. Encourage a culture of experimentation within your teams. Try new ideas, even if they fail. Learn from those failures. Try to improve as well. Start to embrace agility by being flexible and responsive to changing circumstances. Quickly adapt your strategies and operations when needed. Decentralized decision making. So make sure that other people have the responsibility and the ownership to be able to make decisions. Focus on redundancy, not jobs. Focus on redundancy of processes. What about our systems? Can we do more with less systems? Build redundancy into critical systems so we have capacity to withstand unexpected shocks as well. Back plans, backup data, disaster recovery procedures as well. Build strong customer relationships, network and build alliances with our peers and our competitors as well. Okay, it's not just about our customers. What about our peers? What are they doing? How are we connected into the industry? Managing risk effectively, staying informed about market conditions, building that strong team around you, investing in recruiting and retaining talented, adaptable, open-minded, innovative employees, members of your team who share your values and vision for the business as well. Embrace technology and advancements that can improve your business processes, improve efficiency, and help you to stay competitive as well. There's 20 different things you can do there. I'll pop them into the shared folder afterwards. Really, what we need to do though is start to strategically pivot when necessary. Be willing to pivot our business model or offerings if we identify a more promising direction. Be prepared for crisis. Have a crisis management plan that quick can be implemented in the event of any unforeseen circumstances, and start to embrace sustainability. And this is going to be the biggest thing, the biggest change we're going to have to face. So start to implement eco-friendly practices, start to see opportunities for building a business around eco-friendly practices, align them with our consumer preferences and with the legislation that's coming, sustainable products, and environmentally responsible business. And look, by really starting to adopt and consider these actions, we should be able to build an anti-fragile, resilient, and robust business, or ourselves leaders that can thrive in the face of adversity. And as I said, it's about being proactive, adaptable, and prepared for whatever challenges that come towards us. One final quote, and then I'll let you go. Real growth comes from chaos and not order. It's by some crazy businessman. I didn't want to put his name up there, but I thought it was a good quote. But the real growth we get within our organization will come from chaos and disruption that forces us to change, as opposed to sit somewhere comfortable over a period of time. Okay, thank you so much for your time. I'm happy to hang on for some questions if anybody has